Interviewing 101 by Team Butternuts. Before the interview. Interviews help the interviewer get to know the candidate. Will the candidate fit within the company? Will the candidate fit with the employees? If the answers to these questions is no, you should wrap up the interview. It will also help you know how will the candidate perform and how did the candidate perform in the past. It is always important to have the supplies needed to facilitate a good interview. Types of interviews. Structured, where questions are prepared in advance and asked of each applicant in the same order. Semi-structured, style that allows both planned and unplanned questions. Unplanned questions allow the interviewer to ask more specific questions. Unstructured, no questions are planned in advance. It directs you down a path you feel is appropriate. This can hurt you if you're not an experienced interviewer. We will show a structured interview later in our video. Opening the interview. Make the interviewee feel important. Ask easy, non-job related questions and use icebreakers. The proper openings can build trust between interviewer and the interviewee. Make sure to take notes during the interviewing process to help make your decision later on. How you can improve hiring. Interviewing is time-consuming and has great potential for creating biases. Use scientifically proven methods that measure talent and help determine who will be interviewed. Use behavior-based interviewing skills and know your legal do's and don'ts. Using behavior-based structured interviewing. The legal basis for using structured interviewing are as follows. 1. The interview should be designed to find the best candidate for the job based on the requirements and assessed skills. 2. You can show that the interview questions are directly related to the job requirements if challenged in court. And 3. When creating questions, then you should refer to the people who know the job best. 1. Those who perform it successfully, and 2. Those who supervise its performance. The next step of the interview is gathering information. There are various types of questions that you can ask an interviewee. Direct, which are yes or no questions. Behavioral, how the candidate performed in the past. And situational, which can help you figure how the candidate might act in a given situation. Using these types of questions will get you the most accurate information about a candidate. Our next section is giving information. Important information given to the candidate about the company and the position. 1. What the company is about. 2. What the company's focus may be. 3. What skills are necessary for the given position. And 4. Potential advancements. These statements will allow the candidate to assess whether they feel you are the right fit for them. Closing the interview. Let the candidate know if you will be hiring them if a decision has been made. Let the candidate know why or why you didn't make this decision. If hired, let the candidate know the proper steps to take for the hiring process. One last important decision to factor in is selecting the right person the first time. There are costs of poor hiring. Within the first 6 months, 40% of all new hires will quit, and 50% of all managerial hires will quit. The costs are approximately $67,305. This is a ratio of cost to average salary of 1.55, meaning you will spend approximately 1.5 times more on a bad employee than you will a good employee. At this time, we will show a short video showing a good interview. We will also show 2 biases that you should try to avoid during interviews. 1 being a first impression error, and 2 being a halo effect. We will go into more detail later on.
How are you doing today?
Quite excellent. How are you doing?
Andrew. Jordan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So, Jordan, how's your day been so far?
Quite excellent. I'm enjoying this beautiful weather. I hope we see a lot more of it.
Me too. We're just kind of took a few minutes and I looked up your resume. Just had a couple questions to ask you.
All right, wonderful.
Remind me, what was the name of the last company you worked for?
The last company I worked for was named Booches.
Okay. And what was your position title and what exactly were your job requirements?
My main position was a server, but I also acted as a maitre d'. With a server, it would be to take orders and serve the customers to their satisfaction in a timely manner. As a maitre d', I would try to seat the customers in a fashion that would disperse the workload and not put any too much stress on any one person.
Okay. What would you expect from a supervisor if you were to be hired?
Quite honestly, I would expect the supervisor to be clear with me, to let me know what I'm doing right and where I need improvement, and as well as to give me enough space to let me do my own work.
Okay. We kind of pride ourselves in that. We expect our supervisors to be able to look over the employees, but also jump in and help when help is needed.
Excellent.
We do expect our supervisors also to let the employees know when they're doing something right, and also when they're doing something wrong, so they can learn from that.
Wonderful. I think that's an excellent way to go about your business.
What would you consider your greatest strength to be?
My greatest strength is I'm a people pleaser. I find great satisfaction in bringing satisfaction to other people.
Okay. How do you handle stress?
I don't like to think of it as stress. I like to use it as a type of motivation that helps me to work faster and improve how I'm working to make it more satisfactory without consuming more time.
Okay. Describe a time when your workload was heavy and how you handled it.
Well, our heaviest workload came during lunch rush, which I am sure that you understand.
Oh, yes.
And the way that I handled it was to itemize every task that I needed to do in my head and help or keep track of which customers came when so that I could serve each table in a timely manner without shorting anybody on time or a face time with me.
Okay. What would you consider good customer service to be?
Good customer service is prompt, adequate service with a smile that always leaves the customer satisfied.
That is customer service. Obviously, we are a restaurant, so customer service is one of our big highlights. We like to look at our servers and know that they are taking care of our guests.
Wonderful. And that is going to be my main goal.
Okay. I gave you a list of job requirements earlier. Can you meet the requirements that are on that list?
I would not only like to meet those requirements, but I would like to push the limit and exceed past.
Okay. That's good. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Quite honestly, I'd like to see myself in a management position in your company.
Okay. And how do you plan on reaching that?
Well, I'm a firm believer in the fact that merit and hard work are rewarded over time, and that is what I will try to do.
Do you have any further questions for me?
I actually do.
Okay.
What do I need to do to help you run your business more effectively?
Like I said earlier, we expect our employees to take care of our customers. That is our big highlight, is our customer service. We take pride in the way our guests are treated. So with the way that your resume looks and the questions that I've asked you here, I believe that with your strengths and the way that you handle stress is just amazing. And I think you'd be a great fit for our company.
Excellent. Wonderful.
I would like to bring you in the next day or two, get you into orientation. We'll get you a nice little server outfit.
Great.
And we'll go from there.
All right. Wonderful. I will call and be in contact with you within the next day.
Okay.
And we can
sounds
set up
good.
a meeting.
Sounds awesome.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Have a great
nice
day.
So do you have any questions for me about the business?
No, I think you've satisfied all of the questions that I could have.
Okay. Well, after looking over everything, I don't necessarily think that you would be the best fit for our company. I am sorry to say that, but there's just a couple things that kind of strike me as off.
Okay, and
And-
I completely understand that. You have to take into the account of your business before me.
And I appreciate that you see it that way. Once again, I'm sorry for wasting your time, but thank you for coming to meet with me.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have yourself a wonderful day.
You too.
One of our two biases is the first impression error. This is an error made by a manager or interviewer who bases his or her opinion of an applicant on the first impression that person makes. These opinions can be based on appearance, attitudes or body gesture, or prior information about the candidate. The problem is, the candidate may be qualified, but the first impression may cause a non-hire. Here's an example.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing good. Andrew. My name is Jordan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So, what was the name of the last company you worked for?
Well, I don't really want to name the last company I worked for because I only worked there for like 3 weeks. So,
Okay.
the company that I worked before that was called Booches.
Okay. What was your position title, and what exactly did you do?
Well, I was a server, so I took food out to people, just whenever they would order something, I would bring it out to them.
Okay. Let's see. How do you handle stress?
That's a tough question. Sometimes it gets too busy and you just can't handle it, and you start to mess up. I hope that doesn't ever happen, but I can't say that it hasn't.
Okay. After looking over everything, I just don't feel that you'd be the perfect fit for our company.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Thank
I really,
you.
I really wish you would reconsider, but
Yeah, I don't think we can do anything.
all right. Well, if you ever have another job opening, just shoot me a line or something.
I don't see that happening.
Okay, all right.
Thank
you anyway, sir.
You have a good day.
Our second bias is the halo effect. This is an impression based solely on a single positive dimension of an applicant. These impressions can be based on appearance, performance, or even outside aspirations. The problem is, the candidate could be hired based only on this impression, even though he or she may not be qualified for the job. Here is a short example.
How are you doing today, sir? Quite excellent. How are you? Good. Andrew Day. Jordan Fowler. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so I've taken a couple minutes and I've looked over your resume. I see that you have spent the last 4 summers in Africa.
Yes, I have.
Can you tell me exactly what you did over there?
I was and still am a current participating member of the World Health Organization.
Okay.
And basically what we would do is we would help to gather supplies and fly them in to war-torn areas of Africa, as well as building temporary and permanent shelters and helping to bring fresh water and fresh supplies into villages that are cut off.
That's awesome. How can I get into something like that?
Well, it's easy. You can just go to the worldhealthorganization.org.
Okay.
And basically you can sign up as a volunteer or donate, or pretty much it's as involved as you want to be.
Okay. It just sounds extremely selfless, and I feel like I need to give back to society more than what I do.
It is a great way to help the people that can't help themselves, and I feel that everyone deserves that.
That was beautiful. I see you really don't have any serving experience.
Well, I would say my biggest shortcoming is I want to get in, but I don't know how other than to just get in. So I decided that I would try to get a job, and hopefully it'll work out for me.
Awesome. Well, as being as selfless as you are, and all the help that you've given, overseas to Africa and to the war-torn countries over there, I feel like you'd be a perfect fit for our company.
Excellent.
And I would love to see you back in here tomorrow so we can go over some paperwork and
Wonderful.
get everything done.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
You have a wonderful day.
You too.
We would like to thank you for taking the time to watch our interviewing overview video. We hope at this time you have the skills that should be necessary to conduct a proper interview. Thank you.